Hey yo, you tub back again. Dealing with a more serious topic, more relevant to the social media game and to what's going on out here, been going on out here. Now, it has been brought to my attention about the whole Alex Jones situation. So much y'all know Wonder has to say about this. Before I begin, I got other videos I want to do. Got other videos. Y'all already know in the background. I got plenty of stuff cooking in the pot. Here's the reality. I had to drop a video on this because there's so many people, and I do respect, like I like what Mark Dice says. I know a lot of people have a lot of things to say, but I got to bring out a completely objective, completely neutral, and completely different perspective. For those who know me or those who've heard me speak in certain videos, I'm an anarchist. So I'm completely outside of all this game. Let me put it this way. When it comes to censorship has been around for millennia. Let me repeat that. Censorship has been around for millennia, multiple millennia. For those who aren't into history, look back to Rage Against the Machines, Zach De La Rocha. I know for some of y'all that sounds like dinosaur talk. They were only from the 90s, and it's rap and hip hop with some rock sounds. They were rock group. And Zach De La Rocha talked about they don't have to burn books, they just remove them. While large warehouse is filling quick with the shows. Bulls on Parade, all right? Listen to that, my favorite of Rage Against the Machine. And the whole point is talking about from ancient China, they burn books. So that was the reference. But he was saying they don't have to burn books now. They just remove them. It's a very simple concept, but it's things going on down here. You've had people that's want to rewrite history. People don't want to deny history. They want to deny things like the Holocaust occurred, even though we have a plethora of evidence. If they're going to deny that, then what are they going to deny in antiquity? I know people talk about, shout out to my friend Eric, talks about, giant cover-ups and stuff. This has been known, which I already knew. Like, not so much the cover-ups, but that giants existed for a plethora of reasons that I could get into for another video. You look at JFK's assassination for the longest time was hidden, covered up as to what you really thought you really thought that dude was the one, even if he pulled the trigger, was not the main behind it. Come on now, though. Like, there was too many groups involved with, you had the USSR, you had the CIA, of course, you had Castro's regime, you also had the mafia, the mob, and I could, again, another video for another time. So there's things like that. There's plenty of cover-ups that go on out here. This is nothing new. Alex Jones, regardless of what you think of the man, regardless of what you think of his views, is he wrong in some of them? He's not even speaking the most dangerous stuff out here. He's not even dropping the biggest bombshells out here. See, what got Alex Jones axed at this point in time is what even Mark Dice and many do not understand. He tried to take on the juggernauts, bro. He threw shade. He threw bricks and blocks, rocks at Glass House. But this Glass House was a glass cannon. They got them 50 round, 50 cal AA firepower. He was using their services. You cannot throw shade at those who use their services for long and expect no repercussions. I expected this for the longest time. Now, I didn't expect it all at once, but I expected this. This is nothing new. Then he started challenging dudes like Ben Shapiro. You can't deal with media darlings. They're gonna come back for you. So again, I expected this. Maybe not in the way that they went about it, but I expected this. This is actually a long time coming. Right? I mean, he didn't get axed. He got well known. He dealing with groups like the Bilderberg Group. I know he talks about the 9/11 and things, if I'm not recalling, was an inside job, which was. No, he talked about the Sandy Hook foolishness, which again, a lot of these are stuff that I talk about. Before I get into what I really, really want to say about my own channel and a lot of what's going on in social media and whatnot, let me just say this. If you look at athletics, people need to pay attention to sports. Because sports reveals so much. And again, a lot of this stuff I can talk about in their own separate videos. But I want to get y'all to understand. Go back to the Kobe Bryant case, the rape accusation, lost sponsors. Big Ben Roethlisberger caught fire when he was accused. Recent times you have people like Ezekiel Elliott. Jameis Winston lost an endorsement because of a whack-ass false accusation that we know is not true. We know it's not true. But still, mainstream media be pushing shit. Right? I could go throughout Tiger Woods. He had his own domestic situation, which there's been many, and I'm not excusing, but he had a domestic situation, lost sponsors. Think about that. These were some of the biggest names in sports, or up and coming big names, and they catch fire. What do you think's gonna happen to every other regular person? You really think if the big dogs in the limelight can get taken out, put on pedestals and taken down, what do you think is gonna happen to regular folk who don't have political power, who don't have economic power? See, Alex Jones got big, right? Big enough to be able to take out. Big enough that he was viewed as somewhat of a threat. Even if he wasn't complete, they let him ride because, you know what? He's just saying all crazy. But they can't use the crazy card. They tried to pull that with Cat Williams too. They tried to pull that with Dave Chappelle. Oh, y'all crazy. Y'all insane. Y'all need medication. But Alex Jones got too big. Now he started talking. Now he got a platform and an audience. Oh, we got to take him out. We can't do a media assassination like we tried with Cat Williams, but we gon' just snuff out, his easy money. We're not gonna allow him on our platforms. But here's the funny thing. The reason he's not taken out at this point from Google Play Store or iTunes, because he grosses too much money. Profits matter. There's the old saying, money talks, bullshit walks 1,000 miles. They're not gonna take him out. So, the support's gonna go and all that good stuff. And in fact, you can call this an elaborate ploy. What do you mean, you dog? Because so much attention is going to be pushed. Now, there are some people who are genuinely support, like I mentioned, Mark Dice. There are some people who also jump on the bandwagon. Some people didn't even care about Alex Jones, but they're going to jump on it. I'm not one of them. I'm talking about this because it needs to be talked about, because I'm talking about everything involved with this. All right. Dudes talking about, any one of us can go, so they fill in their livelihoods, their pockets. See, I don't have skin in this game. Right? I like the fact, I would love to have a big channel. I would love to have subscribers. I would love, to get money and partially at least live off of YouTube. But it's never happened. And there's a lot of reasons why it's never happened with my channel. My channel's been around for over 5 years, about 5 years. It's coming up on that. No, it's over 5 years. As far as in making videos. Consistently, I took some time off at bidding there, like most of us have. But I've had a channel since '08. Guess what's never happened to UW? I've never had a copyright strike. I've never pushed rounds. I know the game. I play the game. Just like I know different sports I play, just like I know different video games, board games, card games, you name it. I know the game and I play it. Never had a copyright strike. Oh, demonetization? I would get demonetized for no damn reason. I a lot of times would appeal. Now, I fall under the crowd that doesn't even get monetized. And I wasn't in this for monetization anyways. I was never expecting to make big, because I happen to bring in for a very niche audience, very niche audience. All right. I happen to be a voice that folks don't talk about, but I caught a lot. I've caught a lot of hell. I still say I'm top 10 most notorious amongst the YouTube anime and manga community all time. But yet I have a small channel. And that actually works for the benefit. Because YouTube, I'm so small, YouTube's not going to come after me. They're not going to suspend me. They're not going to take me out. KOL, different ones who making money, Chibi, different ones. And then they were, I need a Patreon. Nothing wrong with that. I support various channels. But they get, because their bottom lines get affected. Mine doesn't. So I can say what I want to. Alex Jones got too big. He became an entity. He was a threat. They're going to snuff you out. That's always the game. They did it with Abraham Lincoln, even though it was a little bit different and it was John Wilkes Booth, but it's the same game. John Fitzgerald Kennedy was too much of a threat. He had to go. Robert Bobby Kennedy, too much of a threat. He had to go. Huey P. Newton, too much of a threat. He had to go. Malcolm X, too much of a threat. He had to go. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who I just so ironically happen to have his shirt, too much of a threat. He had to go. Kurt Cobain, too much of a threat. He had to go. I can explain all this in different times. Tupac Shakur, too much of a threat. He had to go. Michael Jackson, too much of a threat. He had to go. And then let's talk about legacies. You can say, why is this all censorship? Because censorship involves changing the truth. Just like 1984, just like Orwellian doublespeak, newspeak, and all that good stuff, groupthink, all this stuff I talk about in conversations with folk. Michael Jackson gets assassinated. At first, I didn't think Whitney Houston got assassinated, but her daughter went out. They knew some stuff. Bill Cosby, reputation tarnished. I already brought up about Cat Williams and Dave Chappelle who survived, but they tried to get them out of there. When you look at, where was I going with my line of thought? My line of reasoning. Anyway, there's been multiple stuff that's gone out. Whether you agree with him or disagree with him, and he do be acting a fool, but Donald Trump, as soon as he was a threat, you heard the narrative change. Dr. Ron Paul, they did the exact same thing. Anytime you're a threat to the establishment, the powers that be, the elites, even if you are seemingly amongst them, they will look to take you out. And so censorship, they now could no longer ignore this man. They won't touch me because I'm not viewed as a threat. But also a lot of times I don't deal with a lot of conversations I do, at least on YouTube. You see, because on Google Hangouts, anyone who rocks with me knows my shit be getting tapped and be getting sometimes cut. Same thing happens on certain phone conversations. Same thing happens on Skype. I got friends. I know folk who's tapped. I know the NSA. I've been knowing about that. Look, cartoons told us about that. People were shocked. Anybody knows about Rico? 1970 should have known about this stuff. There's so much I could say on this, but I wanted to bring the attention. Some of these channels, they are in it for their own personal gain. Some of these channels are concerned, oh my God, any one of us can get out. Boo-hoo, cry me a river. To one sense, yes, I'm against censorship, except if it deals with stuff for children. On another sense, private companies can do, for the most part, what they want to do. They shouldn't change their terms of service, but I can't. What am I supposed to do? We're using their platform. So it's a catch-22. It's an almost paradoxical situation that we're in. Should Alex Jones have got out? Probably not. At the same, it looks really bad that all of them knocked that it was collusion. For once, Twitter's actually talking with some sense. But again, Twitter lets foolishness go on out. It is a cesspool itself. Even though they take it something, Twitter's a cesspool itself. That's why I don't deal with Twitter. I don't deal with Twitter. But I'm just here to let y'all know what the game is. Is it full-blown censorship? Yes and no. Yes, to a degree you can say, but at the same time, censorship is not simply acting people. And the reason that, here's the problem that I think a lot of people have. It's the reasoning that they gave. Alright? It was the reasoning that they gave. It wasn't that Alex Jones got axed. It was the reasoning that they gave. Let me finish up this video. And like I said, this is a brief overview, a general view from my perspective on the matter. As someone who's outside this whole paradigm, these false paradigms